Howdy do, everybody. It is Dennis and Andy with another movie review. In a few, we're going to review a movie for you guys in 10, 12 minutes. And we're doing it a little different these days. Out of the gate, we're going to give you non-spoilers. Take about 4 or 5 minutes doing that. And then we're going to give you a warning. We're going to get into spoilers. So if you want to dive on out, you can. And you'll still have a review good enough to... so you can judge if you want to go see the movie. We went and saw Talk to Me. I don't know why I said it like that. It doesn't. That's not really a name of a horror movie, if you ask me.
I don't know.
That is the name.
Seeing it, I think it kind of is. A24 put out their long-awaited, really hyped movie. Andy and I saw the trailer a while back. We thought it looked cool. And but I try and stay away from all spoilers, which I have successfully done going into it. I know the directors, Danny and Michael Philippou. This was their directorial debut. And they had worked on other stuff behind the scenes, and very curious to see what they were going to put out. I've heard a lot of people that did say it was going to be so fantastic. It was going to be like the scariest movie of the year. And I was like, wow. So,
wow, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. When and the movie is basically when a group of friends discover how to conjure spirits using an embalmed hand. They become hooked on the new thrill until one of them goes too far and unleashes supernatural forces.
You know, one of the things that I thought was interesting when the movie started with just some of the credits and producing stuff is, correct me if I'm wrong, was this shot in Australia?
It was. This was a fully Aussie movie. It was
I thought
definitely a low budget. A24 usually pairs up with small studios, which it did. And I guess it was a number of them that got together and gave those guys their first crack at directing. And well, let's see how they did.
It's funny because the accents weren't super heavy, and even when I saw the trailer for it, I didn't walk away from that going, oh, this wasn't filmed here. But then once I saw that stuff in the beginning, because it went to some film festivals, I guess, in Australia, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, Dennis, you summed it up well. They find this, or they come across this hand that, you know, it's like this, basically from, you know, here up, and you basically grab it like you're shaking a hand. You know, it's an okay size hand. I was looking at it thinking to myself, if I was one of the people at that party, just as a party joke, they'd be like, it's your turn. And I would have dropped my pants and teabagged the hand and been like, this is what we're doing, right?
And this is why you don't get invited to parties, Andy.
And then the hand would have crushed my balls.
The interesting thing about this one was that it was a very unique take from the standpoint of usually there's a thingamajig that somebody has to do and they do something bad and they unleash supernatural forces. We've seen them. There's so many out there like it. So, and I was like, okay, it's going to be another one of those. But they really do have a great twist on it, because it isn't just something that you have that just instinctively goes bad. You actually have to invite the spirits in. And the kids have this object, and they at least explain how they got it and how they think it works and what they've been doing. So they sit there and videotape themselves as the spirit enters their body. And it's really cool because the kids, instead of doing drugs and alcohol, it's like a high. Having the spirit comes in, it's kind of like the new form of ecstasy, you know, that's for kids, and they get off on it. and they each take their turn. You saw in the trailers, the head goes back, the eyes turn black, and the spirit goes in there. Then they have 90 seconds in which to get it out. They kind of basically show this in the trailers.
And that is where the problem comes in for the main actress, this black woman, because they're supposed to be teenagers. I'm assuming this girl's probably in her 20s. Because when she does it, she, I guess you could say, is under for more than 90 seconds. And apparently that is what causes the problems, because there is a scene in the movie, this isn't a spoiler, of different people doing it. And it's quick cuts and stuff. It's almost reminiscent of a scene where, like in the 70s show, where they put the camera right in the center of the table and spun it around as everybody's taking a hit and stuff. And it's like that. It's quick cuts. And it's like Dennis said, it's like a form of a high. The problem is you need to detach within 90 seconds and blow out the candle. Or as this girl comes to find out, bad shit happens.
The practical effects in this are fantastic. There's no CGI that I could tell at all. It was great, which is something that horror movies really need to really capture the audience, and they did. With it being such talk about a scary movie, I didn't think it was that scary. I thought it was cringeworthy. There were some scenes where I had to look away. There's a couple of jump scares that are pretty good. It's got a lot of the cool things, and they do a really nice job. The beginning builds up this crescendo of suspense and stuff like that, and it's great. I mean, the beginning is so captivating. I thought it was just fantastic. The problem is then they have scenes that bring it and you lose it, and then it comes back, and then you lose it. So it's kind of a bit of a roller coaster.
I got a little bored during it, which it's an hour and 37 minutes. So we're not talking a long movie. But I'll go with what Dennis says. It is like a roller coaster in that standpoint. So I don't want people to get scared off by saying there was a moment I got bored. It was just that kind of a lull where they were, it was stuff that was important, but maybe it could have been edited better. Before we go on to the spoiler stuff, let's give it our CGC rating so people can think. Dennis, I'll go first this time. I think you went first last time.
I did.
I'm giving it a 6.5, actually. Like Dennis said, it wasn't, it's a horror movie, but it wasn't that scary. I kind of think it's more of a thriller. And in the spoiler section, I'll tell you why. There was a couple jump scares, like he said. But yeah, I mean, I'm giving it a 6.5. And honestly, I'd say you could wait till it comes on TV. I don't think you need the big screen for this one.
Yeah, I'm giving it an 8.0. I thought it was
wow.
We
solid. Have never been that far apart.
Yep. No, we have before. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. There's a few things that really kind of let me down, which we'll talk to in a minute. But yeah, I'm giving it an 8.0. So with that being said, spoiler alert, you can tune out now and come back after you've watched the movie and then see if you agree with what we're going to talk about. So with that being said, spoilers.
Here we go.
We got to say Sophie Wilde played Mia, Joe Bird played Riley, and Alexandra Jensen played Jade, the three big friends that were in it. I thought they were all excellent for their particular roles. I thought they were good. They were developed enough and stuff like that. The issue that I had was like Joe Bird plays Riley, and the scene that really physically gets you and you had to almost wince and turn away was he's possessed. They didn't want him to. He went and did it anyway, and he starts physically abusing himself to the point of smashing his face, and he hits it on the corner, and you're like, oh my God, blood's going everywhere. It was gruesome. Sophie runs over and puts her hand down to prevent it, smashes it, looks like it's breaking his hands. He goes out. I mean,
oh no, I thought you were going to say the gross part was when he was trying to pull out one of his eyes.
well,
That to me was grosser than smashing his head.
So that was the part that I actually turned my head and I had to go, oh, because you could see him going in and physically grabbing his eyeball. And it was a fairly decently filled auditorium today, and you could hear everybody going, oh, collectively.
Yeah. There's also, it was weird too. That was the first time in any movie Dennis put his hand on my knee. I was like, okay, dude, it's not that bad. I mean, for romance comedies, we see it's fine, but for this, seriously, get your hand off my knee. But seriously, folks, they didn't show this in a trailer, but when the person touches the hand and says, talk to me, they can see the spirit of the person sitting in front of them, that once they say, I let you in or whatever, will inhabit them for those 90 seconds and start talking through them. So they didn't show that in a trailer. I thought that was pretty cool, pretty interesting. And, you know, you get to a point in the movie where Riley, the boy Dennis is talking about, who he's probably only supposed to be like 15 in the movie, whereas the other characters are probably supposed to be seniors in high school. Well, when he first touches the hand and says, talk to me, they don't show the spirit like they did with some of the other characters of who he's going to be talking to. But you can tell by the look on his face, he recognizes the person. And then when the person inhabits him, you come to find out it is Mia's mother, who apparently killed herself in the earlier. Obviously on, this wasn't shown in the movie, but that's who it is that inhabits him, because when he finally says, talk to me, let me in, whatever he says, and it takes over, he starts talking to Mia, and she recognizes it as her mother. Now, where I felt, and Dennis and I kind of talked about this briefly, the movie kind of went off the tracks, or maybe it kind of led you in a certain in this one direction a couple times, two different directions. But then it's either like the movie makers were like, oh, let's not do that, and they just abandoned it, or they meant to do it on purpose as kind of a swerve. And one of them is Mia, because she was connected for so long, she's the only one that keeps seeing things afterwards. And one of the things she sees is her mom, the spirit of her mom. And the spirit of her mom's telling her stuff like, basically letting her believe that she didn't kill herself, that her dad might have had something to do with it. And I was kind of like, oh shit, that's pretty cool. Is this movie, like, I thought, and I don't know if you thought this, Dennis, but I thought, is this movie now taking is this going from like a horror to a thriller mystery, where at the end of the movie, we're going to find out that her dad did kill the mom and stuff, and that's what this is all about?
Well,
no.
This is the part where you're either going to love this part of the movie or you're not going to love this part of the movie.
Right.
So they don't set up the rules of the hand. They set up early rules, but the rules tend to fall by the wayside later on, or they give you the basic rules. They don't do all the filler, and your mind has to be the one to fill in all the jigsaw pieces to fill in how it works. Because the kids are trying to figure out, you're trying to go, oh, do this. So, and they don't do a great job of explaining it. If you love to be spoon-fed everything, you are going to be very disappointed in that part of the movie. If you don't, and you like I like to fill in pieces, I thought it was pretty cool. And then it was like, okay, where are they going? Oh, I didn't know if we were going to go there. And then towards the end, you're like, okay, I saw that coming. So it was cool. And then
we won't ruin the ending for you. That's a little too spoiler-ish even for us. But I will say the last 15 minutes or so, I was like, oh, I think it's going to end like this. And it did.
Yep.
So
The one thing I'll say about the comedic chops in this, Miranda Otto played the mother, and you'll know her from Lord of the Rings. I loved her in that. She played a very great mother who's taking control of the kids and stuff like that. She had some great little quips in this thing, but she did it very naturally. I enjoyed it. I thought most of the different aspects of this movie came together. Overall, I thought it was a good combination. It wasn't nearly as scary in my mind as what they said, but it encompassed all the different cool parts of the horror genre and melded them very nicely into what was one of, well, for this year, this is probably the best horror movie of the year so far.
I don't think that's saying much, though, because honestly, I gave it a 6.5 because it wasn't that much of a horror movie. And talking about the mother, the actress, the mother was just the actress played the mother that Dennis was talking about. One of the lines that just cracked everybody up. She's a single mom. I mean, they don't ever say if she's divorced, dad died, nothing, but she's a single mom. And she has to go to work at night, and she's checking on the kids, her daughter and son. And, she's talking to the son who's sitting on his bed, on his computer or whatever, and his buddy's sitting there in his room goofing around. And she's like, so what time's the party? And she already gave the third degree to the daughter. And the daughter's like, there is no party. I don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here, blah, blah, blah. And the son's like, there's no party. Oh, no. You can tell me. I already got the confirmation. I just forgot what time it is. And the son's like, there is no party. And she's like, okay, if you drink and I find out you drink at this party, I'm going to punch you in the face. And her delivery,
it was great.
It was great. It was dead on
in the theater.
Yeah, it was great. But there it is. There's the review. What are we looking at for Rotten Tomatoes and all those guys on this thing?
Yeah, give me a second. IMDb has an overall rating of 7.5. And Rotten Tomatoes, the critics love this movie at a 95%.
Oh, Jesus.
And the audience is giving it an 81%. And they're averaging 4.1 out of 5. So, yeah, right there. So it's pretty much on there. So, solid movie. I would recommend seeing it. And just go in with tempered expectations is what I would tell you.
I'm saying save it for the TV where you can get up, use the John if you want. You can pause it and just watch it in the luxury of your home. There's nothing big screen worthy about it. But what is big screen worthy is Kor-Drath the Reckoning, guys. This baby should be coming to the big screen. 76 pages, ball-busting, barbarian, bloodthirsty, bombastic, breakneck speed action. The good news is I have 2 pages left to draw at a 76. We're at 82,682 here. But if you add up the total of the other campaign we ran a few months ago to this, we're over 87,000. We are clicking towards the next stretch goal of 90,000, which will unlock the Necronite playable character card. That's right. Dennis wrote a game module for this. It's a totally different story. So even if you're not into role-playing games, you can buy this just to read the different story. And if you are, you can play this because the characters are playable as of now. Everybody that backs the campaign is getting the Kor-Drath, Adriana, and Lilith playable character cards. Great art on the front. All their playable stats on the back. They are 7x10, the dimensions of a comic, so they're not these tiny little things. And everybody's also going to be getting the Shattered Reach map that Dennis designed for this world as well. So, like I said, we're marching on to the $90,000 stretch goal, which gets you the Necronite card. That's 4 playable characters and the map. We still have a $100,000 stretch goal, which we are keeping close to the vest for now. The campaign, even though I have 2 pages left, there's a lot of production work that has to be done on this. A lot of lettering, coloring still has to be completed. And there's going to be time. It's not like I finished 2 pages and it's off to the printer. So there's still time to back it. We hope you do. We think you'll really enjoy it. We're putting our all into this book for you guys. If you like action adventure, there's a little bit of humor in this as well. You will dig this book. You can read through the first 8 pages on the campaign, but if you just want to click over where it says read pages 1 through 11 here, you can go to Kor-Drath.com and read pages 1 through 11. There's also other things on the website we couldn't fit onto the Indiegogo page, so go over there as well, or just go to the Indiegogo page. Check out everything we have to offer. The t-shirts, and the beanie are coming down this Thursday. We'll be streaming to close those out because we want to get those to the printer before we ship the book, so we can start shipping the shirts to you guys. You got the beautiful Lilith shirt featuring Budroot. Beautiful artwork colored by Dan Lawless. And then, of course, you have the main t-shirt featuring my art on it. That's really metal looking. Fit right in an Eddie heavy metal concert. So check it out, guys. Dennis crafted one hell of a story. We're just loving it. And I cannot believe that I only have 2 pages left to draw. I'm just waiting for Dennis to go, oh, I forgot this. And it's some crazy page with tons of stuff on it. Just to torment me, because that's what he does.
I would.
He would. See, he just said it. He would. He likes to torment me. So, guys, that's your movie review in a few. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. As of now, I just looked. Things could change, but we might be seeing Meg 2, The Trench. Jason Statham's back fighting a big-ass megalodon. So I'm looking forward to it because I love stuff like that.
Looking forward.
I know Dennis does. That's right. All right, guys. Oh, and this Wednesday, we do have a special guest. Corin Glover is going to be joining us this Wednesday, 5 p.m. He has his art book up on Fund My Comic. It is a gorgeous book. He's a character designer, and he's put together this beautiful art book in full color. We're going to be talking to him about that and his career. So join us Wednesday at 5. And until then, catch you guys later. Like, subscribe, and share. Bye-bye.